So, I am filming my first confessional on my new iPhone 8.
Another week down and another week about to start.
This week has been a good week for me as head of household. I got yelled at by someone I don't care about. I got Taylor St. Louis out.
Taylor's gone. That's that. Moving on.
Taylor gets evicted 8-0, just like I thought it would happen.
I kind of feel bad. I wish I would have thrown a vote now. Like, shit. She did not deserve that. Bunch of pieces of shit not willing to talk to her.
Your boy survived another week. Had a good feeling I would stay, but man, unanimously 8-0. Best feeling in the world. I'm in the game, and people don't foresee me as a threat anytime soon. So yeah, it just kind of solidifies it. I feel like I'm in a really, really good spot. And did it suck to see Taylor go? Yeah, because I mean, I genuinely do like the girl, and she was my closest ally in the game. But at the same time, as long as it ain't me, I don't care. These people are all just obstacles in my way of getting to the end of this game.
So Taylor gets evicted 8-0, which I thought that was a little surprising. I thought Chris might have voted to keep her. Me being not as, I guess, careful about that, kind of just throw my vote wherever. But I get it. I think Chris is playing a really smart game.
It's been really quiet this weekend. No one really wants to talk. Sides are drawn in the sand. 4 on one side, 4 on the other, Andrew in the middle. I would feel strong in my alliance.
Hold the phone, boys and girls. Skirt! We're good now. Everyone just plays the little, ooh, I'm gonna do whatever King Joe or King Jacob tells me. Oh, wasn't a fast forward, which means I gotta deal with these people even more. I was hoping shit would just get to jury so they would actually, I don't know, grow some balls. You know what these are? Balls! These people don't have them.
Brady tried talking to me before the eviction thinking it was a double, and he was just like, hey, just FYI, Andrew said that if you won HOH, you'd be his target. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, okay. I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that I threw Andrew's name out to you, I think, earlier in the week. I know what Brady's doing. He's obviously telling me this info. I assume he's telling something similar to Andrew, so that way, if Andrew or I win, we're going to target each other. People might think it might be stupid for me to throw Andrew's name out, but I think having a name in this game is really important. And what I mean by that is that people are always going to be asking you for a name. Like, what should I do? What would you do? And for me, that name is Andrew. I don't mind throwing him out because him and I don't talk. I think if he won HOH, I'd go up regardless. Like, I know that. So I would rather have this one name that I keep throwing out all the time. So that way people think they know what I would do. So that way they're less scared if I were to stay in the house because they think, oh, if Jacob wins HOH, he's probably going to go after Andrew and not me.
I mean, I got 2 allies at this point. I got Ryan, I got Chris Brown. Oh, I got 3 actually. I got Amanda, and I kind of got Shelby. So I have 3.5, and you know how there's 1.5 Men or whatever that was called, 2.5 Men, the TV show. I got 3.5 woman, men, woman, because they're men and woman. I need more allies quickly. This is not a good time for me.
The longer Brady is in this game, the more uncomfortable I get. I know that he's talking shit about me to Andrew. I know that he's got Mandy and Ryan. And I know that him and Chris have been getting really, really close. So the moment he's in power again, he's going to take a shot at Joe and I. And I do not want to be the casualty of that move. I had a long talk with Shelby about Brady because I think Shelby is finding herself in a really tough spot right now because she's in this alliance with me and we're supposed to be, final 2 and working together. And yet there's this Brady problem. There's this person who obviously is good for Shelby's game. Brady's not going to go for Shelby right now. Brady's going to be telling Shelby information right now. But the problem is that if Brady wins, he's obviously going to put up Joe and myself. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to survive that. So for me, it's like, if we can take the shot at Brady, we need to take the shot. And I think she is not that happy about it and doesn't want to do it, which I totally understand. But what I tried to explain to her is just like, you know, like we need to just look out for each other. And it might not be a great move for you, but it's a good move for me. And like what's good for me is good for us, and what's good for her is good for us. And I think that's just kind of what we need to think about. And, you know, I don't think Shelby really has anything to worry about. I think she's got plenty of people who don't want to put her up. I do want to try and work with Ryan and use him in this game if I can. We just have to see.
Right now, for the most part, everyone thinks that I'm kind of in with them. And that's what I just need. I need to keep that charade up. Personally, in my opinion, Joe and Jacob, one of those two needs to get out this week. But I'm not taking that shot. Hell no, I'm not taking that shot. Let them take that shot and get the target on them.
Going into next week, I am just hoping that my alliance can win head of household so that I can have another safe, easy week. But even if it's not, then I think I could be safe because people are going to go for Joe and Jacob more than me. Everybody is talking to Jacob, and they said Jacob said this, Jacob said that. So obviously they're all getting around to talk to Jacob, and I don't blame them. Jacob's a really fun guy. He's really interesting, really fun. I'm glad he's my ally. Even if I can't trust him, I'm glad I met him because it's cool. Not that I don't trust him, it's just that he's going to win this game.
Going to HOH, it's kind of just like all the other HOHs where if I don't win or someone that I'm directly aligned with wins, I'm probably going on the block. Which, you know, is not the greatest position to be in, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, I mean, hopefully I win HOH. I really want to win tonight. Or if I can't win, Shelby or Joe, Ryan or Dustin win. I don't think Ryan would put me up. I hope not.
I'm sitting pretty, because if you look at it, the only two people I don't have any sort of grouping with right now is Dustin or Jonathan. Got the Care Bear Alliance with myself, Shelby, Jacob, and Joe. And then we just formed another 4 alliance, pretty much replacing Taylor with Mandy, me, Chris, and Brady. I just don't feel like there's an incentive for me to win HOH. I really don't. There's no point in me winning. And I'd rather not win and let those other sides win, because I don't want the blood on my hands. If I know I'm not in danger this week, there's no point, because I don't want to have to make a decision. I don't want to have to win HOH and then put myself in a bind either way. So I'm gonna not win this HOH, and I should be good this week. I would love to see Brady, Chris, or Mandy win.
So if I win HOH, what I want to do is I want to line up all little school children, all right? I want to put them all in like a line. And I'm going to be like, Chris Brown, you're safe. Amanda, you're safe. Ryan, you're safe. Congrats on not being total boring sheep. You guys can be safe this week, because that seems to be the common thing in this house. House of the sheep. The lamb's garden. So I'm going to line them up, yank out those 3. But hey, you 6. You guys are going to have to pick your own nom. So you, tell me who you think I should nominate right now, and I'll do it. And then I'll go down the line, all 6 of them. And I'm be like, psych, I'm going for the big dogs. And then I'll throw up Joe and Jacob and just be like, bah, eat that, son.
I tried talking to Amanda this week. She gave me a new workout routine. I'm actually going to try it.
The good bitches are here to stay. We just have to stay in power for another week. Chris or Brady have to leave this week.
Welcome to Joe's Room. I'm Joe. This is Jacob.
I'm Jacob, and that's Joe.
We're here to deliver the news going on in the Big Brother Basics 3 house after week 3.
After week 3, hey Joe, congratulations on making top 10.
Thank you so much. It was really hard to get here. I'm really happy that you're here with me too.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here as well. You know what's exciting about top 10?
What's that?
It means that one of us is guaranteed to make jury,
and one of us is about to get voted out.
Yeah, that's also you know, possible.
So if we don't win HOH, we expect to both be nominated this next upcoming week by people that are not in our loyal group of allies called the Good Bitches.
Yeah, but I mean, it is nice to have that group of 5. I feel, you know, pretty comfortable there for the most part. It's nice to have that security. Like, I feel good about Jonathan, Dustin, Shelby. It's nice to have it, even if we are expendable. I mean, I think they're definitely using us because I think we're big targets, and it makes sense for them to want to keep for them to keep us in the game because they know that people will go after us before they go after them.
I'm hoping that if I win, that I can nominate Michael Brady.
Yeah.
But he's gonna likely stay, I think, just based on, reading the room, seeing what people lie and sit and be as they may.
Yeah, because I would totally be down to vote out Brady. But unfortunately, I don't really know who else would do that, which is so silly to me. Like, who is another person that would want to vote Brady out? Andrew, maybe?
Maybe he's the only one, just because he was nominated by him, and he wanted Andrew to go over Pam.
It's frustrating, but we need to at least win next week just to make sure that you and I don't go up.
Of course.
And then we'll make jury. That's another thing, too. If one of us wins, then we both make jury. What do you think's going to happen when we are on the block together?
I'm going to go. I think it'll be a close vote. I think I go, though.
I think you have people that will definitely vote to keep you, and I think I have people that will vote to keep me. But it's hard to say.
It's hard to say until we sit on the block together and test out the waters.
Yeah, and hopefully that doesn't happen, because
take a little dip in the pool.
I have faith, though. Like, I think you and I, our challengeability, I think one of us is very likely to win the veto, save themselves, and then let's see what we can happen. I really don't think it's a death sentence if we both are on the block. I think we can still get out of it. I don't know, man. We just have to try and win. It's that easy.
We've got a path, if we survive this next week, to go fairly far, I think. I think we've got a lot of trust instilled in our alliance, and
we've got 2 alliances too now.
True, we've got the Care Bears with Ryan, which Ryan I think will be loyal to us both.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan would put us up. He'd probably put up Jonathan and Dustin, which would be really good for us.
I think we're in an okay spot where we've got.
I think there's 3 people that we have to worry about winning.
Michael Brady,
Chris,
and
then me personally, Andrew. So that would suck. So yeah, we need those 3 people to not win, and it's gonna be a bad week if we don't win. Whatever. What will be, Joe. We got this.
Yeah.
I really want to win, though, so that way, no one talks to me.
Oh, I would love to win.
It's gonna be the same.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna win it.
Dude, I don't care.
As long as one of us wins, I don't care, but
I really want to win it. I want to win it so bad.
Yeah, as long as any of us win, I don't care. But I would kill for a Joe or Jacob HOH, because it would be so quiet. They'd be like, okay, we accept it.
It would be so funny.
Welcome to your 4th Head of Household competition of the season, Minority Rules. Jonathan, as outgoing HOH, you will not compete. Julie will ask you a series of questions. Your goal is to submit the answer you think will be in the minority. If you are in the minority, you will receive a point. The person with the most points at the end of the competition will become this week's Head of Household. In the event of a tie, we will go into a tiebreaker question. You will raise your left hand for option A and your right hand for option B. So since everybody is ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
Okay, so I am live. I'm watching the Head of Household.
Question 1. Who is more likely to enjoy eating slop? A for Chris or B for Taylor? Answers, please. The minority of you said that Taylor is more likely to enjoy eating slop. So that would be Mandy, Michael Brady, Chris, and Andrew that receives a point. Question 2. Who would last longer in an endurance competition? Submit A for Joe or B for Michael Brady. The minority of you said that Joe would last longer in an endurance competition. That gives Mandy, Chris, Andrew, and Ryan a point.
Mandy and Chris have the most points. My alliance keeps answering the same, so they don't get any points because there's 4 of them.
Question 3. Who would be better at jigsaw puzzles? Submit A for Mandy or B for Ryan. The minority of you said A, Mandy would do better at jigsaw puzzles. That gives Dustin, Jacob, Joe, and Shelby a point. Question 4. Who is more likely to cry from their letter from home? Select A for Andrew or B for Pam. The minority of you said that Pam is more likely to cry from their letter from home. This means that Ryan, Dustin, and Chris receive a point.
I'm freaking the out because if the head of household goes with someone that I have not aligned myself with, it could be a wrap for me. I've evicted these people. I've nominated some of these people. It's a scary place to watch this unfold, and I am completely nervous.
Question number 5. Who would you rather spend 24 hours in some solitary confinement with? A, for Shelby, or B, for Sean? Answers, please. The minority of you said B, you would rather spend 24 hours in solitary confinement with Sean. Mandy, Chris, Dustin, and Ryan receive a point. Question number 6. Who would perform better on a memory-based competition? A, for Dustin, or B, for Jacob? Answers, please.
Okay, Dustin's the only one being smart here to answer it different from... Okay, Joe switched his vote. He needs to lock in.
Your answers are locked in. Please do not change. The minority of you said B, Jacob would do better at a memory-based competition. This gives Chris, Jacob, Andrew, and Shelby a point.
It's not looking good for this alliance with head of household this week.
Question number 7. Which week's split vote was more stressful? A, week 1's 5-5 vote, or B, week 2's 5-4 vote? Answers, please. The minority of you said B, week 2's 5-4 vote. Chris, Jacob, Joe, and Andrew receive a point.
Chris is about to win head of household. Chris is about to win head of household. It's about to be tit for tat. He's gonna come after me or replace me.
Question 8. Which video was more fun to watch? A, the Big Brother Basics cast intro, or B, the Big Brother Basics commercial? Answers, please. All right, your answers are locked in. The minority of you said A, the Big Brother Basics cast intro. Dustin, you receive a point. That is all of the questions we have. Congratulations, Chris. You are this week's new head of household.
I'm so happy. I'm drunk. I'm happy.
Congrats. Congrats.
My Lebanese syrup.
That's how you win these things.
Oh my god, Chris won head of household. Oh my god, I'm so scared. I just nominated him. Oh, we'll see what this week has in store.
I just hate because I was like, well, what is everyone thinking? Do I want to do the opposite?
I know.
That's what
Pam question threw me off. I'm like, everyone's gonna pick Pam.
Is no one getting? Are we the only 3 that are getting on? Did you get all of them right besides 1, Chris?
Yeah, all except 1.
Damn, I think you. Oh, damn. I was like, I got 4 right. I think I came in second, and then you're like, then Joe was like, I think you got 7.
Yeah, I think I did. I don't know. I was just trying to think. I was trying to think okay, what would people not say? And then I was like, with the next one, everyone's like, oh, that's what people would not say. So I'm like, what will people say this time? And I just tried to get into everyone's head, and I guess it works. I'm gonna try not to die because I have nominations to make this week. Not to damper the mood, because I don't want to damper the mood. I'm in a good mood, so
You down tomorrow when you nominate people.
Yeah, how about that? Let's do that. How about we'll just think about it tomorrow? How about tonight we just kind of forget about that shit and not be awkward for once?
Hey, on the bright side, people will come and talk to you now.
Maybe. My shit's been empty for a while, so I might actually get some conversations going. It'll be great to actually have conversations with people just to be out in this game. I just won that HOH, and I'm about to stir this shit up. But this house up. Sorry, CBS, Big Brother, Keith Guerrero. I have no qualms about nominating these motherfuckers because none of them have been talking to me. So I can't wait to hear them throw all of them to throw each other under the bus because that's what they're going to do. And it's time for the power to shift over to the power of beauty over here. I'm going to have lots of material this week because all of a sudden now my shit's blowing up. Everyone wants to talk to me. Oh, hi, how are you? I'm happy that you finally want to talk to me, even though you've been in this game for 4 weeks and could give a shit less about talking to me. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Bye.
Going into this HOH, I really wanted to win. I knew that if someone from my alliance didn't win, that maybe I wouldn't be in trouble, but definitely the people in my alliance would be in trouble. Specifically Joe and Jacob. Jacob's my number one, and I don't want him leaving anytime soon. Of course, the challenge is minority rules, because we had prepared for majority rules, and it ends up being minority rules, which completely f***s us. It's like question after question, none of us are getting any points, and I'm freaking the f*** out because I'm like, shit, Chris is getting like every question right. This is bullshit. How is this happening? Chris ends up winning HOH, which isn't bad for me individually, I don't think, but definitely bad for Joe and Jacob.
Okay. Unfortunately, we lost the HOH competition. Chris is the winner. I fully believe that I'm going to be nominated this week with Jacob. It's like a 99.9% chance. If I do talk to Chris tomorrow, which I'll try to do, the only thing that I can be is like, hey, if you don't put me up, I won't save the veto. I save him with the veto, or I'll vote him out, whatever. I just want to shed this idea that we're a unbreakable pair, even though I definitely would keep him. I definitely would save him with the veto. I think the better way of approaching it is by letting him know that, like, if you put us both up, the likelihood of one of us winning the veto is high. I think that you should really, you know, if you don't want to make a renomination, then leave one of us off, and hopefully it's me. That's really my only play. I don't want to throw Dustin and Shelby under the bus, because I don't know, I like them and I want to see them do well in this game, and it does suck because I do definitely think Shelby is in the best position in the entire game.
We decided that it would be great if we all just stuck together, knowing that some combination of us are getting nominated, and let's just not throw people under the bus. Like, let's just take it. Like, we've had power for a few weeks now. Let's just let what happens, and we'll deal with it when it comes to the veto and the votes and shit, because I didn't believe that there was anything that any of us could say to change Chris's mind about his nominations.
The thing that does suck is that I will have to basically go up to everyone and be like, if I'm evicted this week, it's going to be you on the block next week, and then you, and you, and you. There's just not much for me to do right now. It's just hope to win the veto and then just survive the week. That's literally goal number one, is just survival. I don't want to throw people under the bus. I don't really want to do anything crazy. I am hoping that everything gets better. I am in a bad position. I'm fully aware. I've known I was in a bad position for quite some time, and now I'm going to face the repercussions of being the puppet master, ringleader, circus, Britney Spears, lead dancer type thing. So, that's where I'm at.
So I got on call with Jacob, and I was like, we cannot focus any of our energy into the initial nominations, because that's, like, anything that we do there is only going to make us look sketchy. So let's start planning for down the road. Veto. Who do you want playing? If you get house guest choice, who are you going to pick? Let's think about that. Is that person going to use veto on you? Are they going to throw it? What's all the different factors that go into that? And then thinking about vote situations and how to make sure that if Jacob goes on the block, which he's going to make sure that he stays in the game.
This sucks. Like, I knew this day was going to come. I knew it was going to come. It was ridiculous to think that we would just keep getting so lucky in these HOHs. But it's just the fact that it's like right before jury. It's the last pre-juror. And the fucking thing that got me is just Brady's smug face.
One of my best allies, one of my best friends in the game, Chris Brown, the person I really wanted to win HOH, wins HOH, and I'm jacked up. Let's go. It's party time. Throw on the shades. Let's skirt these on really quick. Skirt. He wins HOH. I'm immediately just grinning. Just smiling. Ha! Sucker, 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 sucker. How does it feel to be losers for once? Because I've been a loser this entire season, and I'm glad you guys finally get to lose.
Like, who the f wears sunglasses inside? Like, get over yourself, dude.
When these glasses go off, I'm chill, bro. I'm chill. But when they go on, skirt. I mean business. Business is to be attended to this round. We're going to cut one of them out of the picture. Someone's not going to get their jury spot. XO, XO, off to the jury. You will not be going. Mwah.
And of course, Chris and I don't talk. So it's like, I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, hey, buddy. Because what can I say? What can I say to make sure I don't go on the blog? What, do I have to out people? Do I have to give my word that I wouldn't use the veto if I won? Like, and if that's what I have to do to stay off, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to like screw over everyone that I'm close with in this game just for a chance that he might not put me up. Like, put me up. Put me up. Let's do it. Props to them. Good for them. Congratulations. And I guess my advice is don't miss.
After Taylor left, I was kind of sad because I liked Taylor and we were close allies. But after she left, I started speaking more to Chris because I knew her and Chris were close. So I kind of wanted to like get in with that when she left because I knew that would be another person that I could trust. So he wins HOH. I am so happy. I was really trying to throw that comp. It was so hard to throw because literally it was just guessing. I was honestly putting random hands up.
Let's freaking go. Best case scenario for me. I tried my best to throw that, and it worked. I threw the competition, and one of my closest allies, Chris, won. So I know I'm good this week. Hallelujah. I am safe this week. And I made jury. Assuming that there's a 7-person jury, there'll be final 9 after this. So I'm now in the jury stage of this game. And I feel like I still have 1 or 2 more evictions where I can kind of still continue to lay low, and then I can kind of kick it into high gear.
Every single day in the house chat the last week, I've posted some buffoonery ass shit. Just like some kind of good morning message that was just ridiculous. And no one ever responded. The first morning I do it, today, 3 people from the other side of the house respond to me instantly. I'm talking within 2 minutes. The whole other rest of the week, before this, they didn't respond for like 5 hours, if ever. They probably never responded. I'm like, hey, who are you again? Because you didn't talk to me, I don't know, like however many days you decided to just pretend like I'm not even in the house. But yeah, my best ally is HOH, and I know you know it, and I know it, so eat that. I like Ryan, Chris Brown, and Amanda so much, and I'm totally loyal to it, and I'm hoping it can just stick together as long as possible. If you have a drink in your hand, I want you to sip it. Psych, 'cause sipping's for wussies. I want you to chug it in celebration of Chris Brown winning HOH just like this. Cheers, boy.
I'm not going to get too crazy this week. I'm going to reach out to people casually, not forcefully, because I think Joe's going to do the opposite. And I want to believe that either Joe and I can win the veto. I really do. I really hope one of us can win the veto. But if it's me and Joe on Thursday night, I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I just kind of wanted to talk to you, Chris, because I feel like you and I, as far as the game goes, haven't really been on the same page. Mm-hmm. I feel like the few talks we do have, we've been, kind of candid with each other, open with each other. I don't know what you're planning on doing this week, but I totally understand if you do decide to put me up.
Yeah.
I totally get it. But basically I'm just kind of wanting to reach out to you and talk to you.
We're absolutely kind of on the same wavelength in terms of just where this relationship's at. I don't think that there's any, there's no bad blood there. Obviously, it's clear that we haven't been on the same wavelength in terms of the choices that we've made in terms of we want to stay, we want to go. For me, I've always been in the position where it's just I don't have enough information to really know fully what's going on because I'm not really being brought in on a lot of the know. Basically, I've been approached where it's just Joe and Jacob are a duo and they're coming for, at the time, me and Taylor. Although it was John that made the nominations, it was kind of John is kind of a soldier or a minion that's kind of following orders from some other force.
Just to be honest about it, I think everyone here is, capable of making their own decisions. And like, I don't think Jonathan was like, for me, it's like the moment when Jonathan won HOH, I was like, okay, well, I feel good because obviously I was partnered with him. Like, I'm not going up. And, you know, I know I was one of the votes that kept them. I'm fine. My whole thing was like, Jonathan, do what you want to do. Like, I don't care. I didn't tell him to do anything. I didn't pressure him in any way, particularly. I think he knew exactly what he wanted to do the moment he was HOH. Yeah. For me, it's like, and it's like, you know, I think people want to put a target on, you know, individuals. You know, you and I kind of talked about this a little bit too. It's like this whole feeling like guilty by association. I do think I do owe you an explanation about like this whole Taylor thing. Like, I'm always very nervous about who I throw information at. It's not you, just everyone in general, because you never really know who's talking to who. Yeah. So I personally try to be very, very, very careful about how many times I talk game. But early on in the game, Sean was the person that told me that you and Taylor were very close. During week 1, when the idea of Brady throwing Jonathan on the block like started coming to fruition, like when people start talking about it, I think my whole thing was like, I don't like, you should really think about before making a move like that, because it's week 1. I don't know what your relationship with Jonathan is, but it's like, that's kind of a big statement. And I don't know like how people would react to that. And I feel like that was a genuine, like, I didn't want to just be like, oh yeah, totally do it. Just do it. Like, I was like, you know, I'm not sure if I would do that, but this is my concern about it. And Sean had told me that Taylor was telling him that she thought what I was doing was very sketchy or shady, that I was like trying way too hard to project Jonathan. And I think hearing that from Sean about what Taylor was saying about me, I think really it kind of made me put up a wall a little bit with her. And then he had also told me that you and Taylor were close. So then I wasn't quite sure where you were in this equation. And so that just kind of put me in a really awkward position.
So for me in general, it was kind of like there was an abrupt change in like from that. I mean, I even said it like week 2, I was like, whoa, everyone, like I literally like wasn't beat. And I was like, I haven't changed. I haven't like, at this point was still, you know, on house calls and individual conversations with the few people that I was talking to. Like, I literally I don't have like an alliance with anyone. I don't even know what's going on. Right. And suddenly like my relationships were changing with people in a way where I was just like, people were not open with me. And I was just like, I haven't done anything that's changed. I only became close to Taylor when it became evident that no one was reaching out to either of us. It's like, okay. And I felt like when I had conversations with you and Joe, I felt like if anyone could understand that position, it would be the two of you coming into the game as like a production pair. I just kind of felt like, that's really like, it just rubbed me like the wrong way. That's the point where it's just...
That's fair.
I mean, and just being fully candid, I haven't had all my conversations yet, so I don't know what everyone is going to do, but you know, as it stands right now, I probably will nominate you.
That's fine. No, and I totally get it. And like, that's why I came into this being like, I understand like where you're coming from. And I understand that, you know, you need to do what you got to do. And, you know, the fact of the matter is you and I just really haven't had that click as far as the game goes of, you know, talking to each other. Like, I totally understand. And like, I just want you to know there's no hard feelings. Like, for me, it's just a game. Like, you know, I think you're a great person, Chris. And like, I know I know that it's just a game. It's the day of nominations. I'm not in the best position. As soon as Chris won HOH, I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I knew that there was almost 100% chance I was going up on the block because it would make no sense for Chris to not put me up on the block. It is the perfect move for Chris to put up myself and Joe for nominations, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I reached out to him and we kind of had a conversation, and it was pretty, you know, it was as good as of a conversation that you could expect. Obviously, since we haven't talked in like a round, I wasn't expecting to go in and for him to just be like, hey, you know what? Don't even worry about going up. You're not going anywhere. Like, that just wasn't going to happen. I kind of was honest a little bit about where I think the disconnect was between him and I. I explained that Sean was the one that told me that Chris and Taylor were close. I explained the situation with Taylor and Sean, where I was trying to talk to Taylor about the first vote, and I felt and Sean had told me that Taylor was very sketched out by it, and that really kind of weirded me out. Now, the problem on my part is that by telling Chris that, it's essentially telling Chris, okay, well, you obviously didn't feel comfortable coming to me about that in week 1, so I can't help but assume that you just don't feel comfortable with me in this game, and I feel like I should put you up. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. That checks out. I get it. Like, I don't really think there was anything I could say to not go up on the block. I think it's just about preparing to go up on the block. So I've been trying to reach out and talk to people today. I know that if I stay on the block, I'll need 4 votes, and I'm just kind of getting everybody warmed up so that way when eviction comes around, I can at least have somewhat of a chance of staying. My goal is just to play it cool this week. This is part of the game. It took them long enough to finally get Joe and I on the block, so let's see what happens.
I go on call with Jacob. And mind you, Jacob and I have been forming something. Is it a friendship? Is it a bullshit mance? Is it a kind of a bros like football mance? I don't know what it is. But for whatever reason, Jacob and I have gotten somewhat close. Don't trust him. Barely at all. But I like him. Jacob and I call. And Jacob says, yeah, Chris Brown, we had a great conversation. We're like, oh, good, Jacob's going to be safe. And he's like, oh, but Chris Brown told me I'm going up. And I'm like, how the is that a great conversation? What part of you're getting nominated makes that a great conversation? If I got told I'm not going to go to the next person and be like, had a great conversation with the HOH, I'm going up on the block, but it was great. Like, what? What? How's that great news? He thinks it's going to be him and Joe. So, in that situation, I don't know who the target would be. For me, I want to keep Jacob this week, and here's why. Whether I can trust Jacob or not, and regardless if I like him or not, which I do like him, the main point here is that Jacob and I have a working relationship, and I think he knows that I know, and I know that he knows that we need each other, because you know what? Sean left, Taylor left, another big player is probably going to leave this round. There won't be too many big players left. We'll have a bunch of Andrews, Amandas, Dustins, Johns, like people that have just been kind of, yeah, they've won some comps, but have they really affected what is happening in the game? I feel like they're more low-key players. And those players start banding together against the bigger dogs. We're all shooting each other down already. What the hell's the point of playing the game? Because I know when I get to 6 or 7, it's going to get targeted and taken out. I'm be stupid to just ignore that as a reality, because it is the reality of the situation. Is me and Chris Brown, Jacob, Joe, we're taking shots at each other. That solves nothing at all. What I want to do is chat with Chris Brown, because if Chris Brown's already thinking putting up Joe and Jacob, cool. If Joe leaves, I'm a happy camper. If Jacob leaves, not a happy camper, because that's the only person on that side I really have a good relationship with. Out of him, Joe, Dustin, and John, don't care about the other 3 at all. So what I want to try to do is somehow convince Chris Brown, whether it's because Jacob would possibly work with us, or because of the big threat thing, or because John put it up. I don't know what. But I'm going to try to go on call with Chris Brown and sway him to put up Joe and John, because that's BB Hell. Great, take the BB Hell person out. Let's get them out of here before I'm the one that goes. And 2, like, I'm trying to keep Jacob off the block. And if he goes up, Joe wins veto, Jacob's definitely packing his bags. I want Jacob to stay in the house, and so I'm going to try to make it happen. If I fail, that's his fault, because he should have maybe, I don't know, done something different. It's not my fault. I can only help so much.
Jacob was like, I don't know, what he said to me was that if he won HOH, his target was going to be Andrew. And he said that if he won HOH, even after you put him up, he's still not going to put either me or you up, because what he made a good point. His point to me was that right now, all the guns in this house have been pointed at big players, whether it was Sean, Taylor, you, me, now Joe, Jacob. Like, it's always been pointed at the big players. And in a sense, I totally get this, that like the people like Andrew, Amanda, Dustin, John, Ryan, like all of them, they're all going to fly under the radar while we're pointing our guns at each other. So I get why he's saying that. But it's also like you guys have just taken back-to-back shots at our big players, and now you don't want us to, because you don't want the big players to all leave, like that's kind of hypocritical as shit. But
Yeah.
that seemed to be his argument. He seemed to really actually be willing to work with us after this week. And I was like, cool. And I basically just kept him thinking that I'm totally down for that, even though, like, I kind of am. Like, I'm down to work with him, like, if he's actually being sincere, because we actually could use someone that's a big target to be with us.
In terms of Joe or Jacob, I don't know which of the two of them is the best bet to go. But I feel confident in the fact that we control it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you completely sold, like, on putting up Joe and Jacob? Like, that's what you want to do, 100%?
I mean, I'm pretty certain that's what I was going to do, but I'm not. I mean, I could do something different, obviously.
Okay, I just want to. This is completely like I'm just throwing it out there. I don't even know if it's the best thing to do, but we want there to be as much possible tension and chaos and dislike in that group right now as much as we can possibly get, because at the end of the day, we need that group to be fractured to the point where if one of them wins HOH next week, we have a chance of staying safe. My thought process was, if it's really two-sided, where it's Joe and Jacob, Dustin, Shelby, John, what if the best thing to do is to just, instead of making the obvious noms, maybe do something that they're not expecting just to shake them enough to where they get in their own heads and get paranoid. If we kept one of Joe and Jacob off the block immediately, that entire group's going to think that the person we did not put up did something to throw them under the bus or whatever to stay safe. And it could cause, like, problems within their group, if you know what I'm saying. They've clearly, throughout the entire game, been trying to put the blame on those two. And as much as I don't like either of them, it would almost be better if they started turning on each other. If we put one of each up, they start eating each other alive. We're not the bad guys, because guess who the bad guys are? The one that, if Joe's suddenly not on the block right now, or Jacob's not on the block, if you kept one of them off the block, whoever it is, looks super sketchy.
I think I'm pretty much safe this week. I don't really have to worry about much, hopefully, unless I'm like completely blind. But I think I'm safe. I can see him going after John and Joe is who I'm thinking he's nominating. I really don't want either to go, because of those side, those are the main two I speak to. I'm gonna try to push for Joe and Jacob, or John and Jacob, just because I don't trust Jacob at all. I haven't really spoken to him much. He's nice, but like I don't talk to him at all. I've come a long way since week 1, almost going home, and I've kind of put myself in probably one of the best positions in the house at this point.
I still don't like Joe, so I still want him out. I'm a petty bitch. Can you hate me? No. I want him to not make the jury, because how he's treated me, don't like it. How he's been bossy, definitely don't like it. And it'd be just so fulfilling for Joe not to make the jury at this point. To me, I would be ecstatic.
It's about 2 hours before the nomination ceremony, and I am shooketh because apparently I get it. You've got friends over, you're the head of household, I get it. We make an appointment to have a little chat during lunch. You have to go to the airport unexpectedly to drop off a friend. Cool, I get that. Let's talk later before noms. It is 2 hours before noms. I've reached out to you twice. You have not responded. You are not the person that's going on the block, so obviously you have no need to be worried. But you know what, Chris? I don't give a shit, because I wasn't going to tell you much anyway, because you've already made your mind up. You know you're going to put me and Jacob up, and if I'm incorrect in that statement, then I'll like eat something delicious, like pizza. Because I've come in as a part of a pair, a known pair. We've been in power. We've gotten some things done, and now I'm going to be on the block, and that's fine. That's the game. But at least if you're going to say you're going to talk to me, then talk to me. Because at this point, I don't know what to do other than just fight for the veto. Hopefully the people that are picked is anybody but Brady, and hopefully any of those bitches will throw it. Although I don't think they will, because they're nervous of who the replacement will be. Obviously it's going to be Jonathan. I doubt that it's going to be Shelby or Dustin. So if Chris could just hurry it on up with his, oh, I'm busy, or whatever, that's great. But it looks like I just got 2 messages on Skype. Hopefully you're one of them.
So, Joe, it's been a minute.
I just want to start off by saying that had you have stayed as the renom or as the nom against Taylor, I wanted Taylor gone, not you. I don't know if people told you that or what they said, but that's what I would have wanted to have had happen. Hopefully, if you don't put me on the block, you will know that I will not be coming after you in the coming weeks, because you have not been my target. I don't know if people... Apparently, Brady has been telling people since week 2 that he wants me gone. That's what I've been hearing. And Brady and I have not had a talk since week 2. If you put me up with Jacob, I think you're going to have to make a renom, because one of us will probably win the veto. Mm-hmm. I'm just letting you know that. If Jacob and I do go up, I don't mind, like, if I win the veto, I don't mind to see him go. Like, I'm not going to actively campaign one way or another because obviously people already know that we're close and that we're friends. But
Right.
there are other duos and stuff in the game. But regardless, I am. If you nominate me, no hard feelings. I'm going to go balls to the walls for the veto. But I don't think it's in your best interest to put me up, just because, like, I know that some people have wanted you gone for a while.
Do you care to name names?
I mean, Jacob and Jonathan very much wanted you to go when it was you and Taylor. They didn't obviously like actively campaign because it wasn't done deal, you know, you being on the block. But that's just what I heard, and I don't know. I know that when Shelby was HOH, she did not want to put you up, and I agreed with her about not putting you up that week. She asked me about it, and I was like, no, there's no reason because Chris isn't going to put you up. And she's like, yeah, I agree. I like Chris a lot. So I don't know. I don't know who else you would put up if you didn't put me up with Jacob, but everyone has been telling me that you guys are going up. So I'm like, okay.
Despite what other people may be saying to you in terms of like my feelings, we had a very candid conversation, you know, in a house call. And then I think that we had a really constructive and a really good conversation afterwards in terms of just like what's going on with us and kind of where the disconnect is coming. Just between you and I, like, I get what's going on there. Like, I'm not a fool. But in terms of just my game and in terms of just thinking about the dynamic,
Am I your target if I go up with Jacob? Because I think I will go. I'm just telling you, like, I'm trying to go through numbers and scenarios. And I think at max, I would have 2 or 3 votes to stay. I'm just letting you know.
You would not be my target. And I don't think that you would go from the conversations that I'm having.
But I do still want to reiterate that I think that I'm in danger, girl, if I'm sitting on the block with Jacob.
Once I had that conversation with you in terms of just kind of talking out and hashing out, like, hey, where is this whole, like, Taylor and Chris, like, power duo? Like, why am I getting word that's like, you are the person that's the pushing, the procuring cause and like major force behind.
I don't know. I think it just turned me into a scapegoat because week 1, yes, I was campaigning for Jonathan this day. So they were like, oh yeah, Joe really wants this. But like, I don't know where Brady gets his information, but he literally was like, he went to Jonathan and said, oh, I heard Joe wants me to be the replacement nom. And I'm like, I didn't talk to Jonathan at all about the replacement nom. As long as I don't go, I don't care. Like, I'm not, like, no hard feelings, like, whatever. I know it's a game. I'm in survival mode for the week because hopefully it's jury. Hopefully there's no buyback. I don't know. But like, I'm just in survival mode right now. That's all I can, like, really do. And if I do go up, I'm going to hopefully win the veto, do my best. I don't know.
If someone understands where you're coming from right now in terms of this game, hello, that was me last week. Like, I understand it. I get it.
If I go and it's like I only have like 1 or 2 votes, I don't know. I feel like I'm not sure if you would have accomplished what you wanted to have accomplished if that's how the vote ends up, because I don't know what it'll really tell you. I don't know. I'm sure it'll tell you something, but like it'll just tell me that I knew I was going.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's like what it will tell you is like, well, these people really were like using me as a scapegoat. Now my ass gone. Like, I understand where you're coming from in terms of like, this is pretty shitty and sucks. You know, after talking to everyone and really kind of getting a better feel in terms of what people are saying and the angle that they're coming in, I do feel genuinely bad for Joe in terms of, you know, how I think his group is really using him as a scapegoat because he's an easy person to kind of dispose of now that it's like potentially the last person before a jury phase. So I don't necessarily like that. And I really hope that he can stay this week because I do think that there is some hope. There's a chance that I can salvage a relationship with him.
I don't know if that talk was productive. I probably accidentally threw people under the bus, but whatever. Hopefully Hopefully I stay.
Thing is, I'd rather Joe stay in the game because he's a bigger target. And that's kind of been my whole strategy. I'd like to keep the bigger targets in the game because it keeps the target off of me. Chris has now cemented himself as a bigger target, winning 2 competitions. Brady, for his crazy antics, has cemented himself as a bigger target. I'm just simply not as big of a threat as some of the people in this game right now. So there's going to be other people that are going to get targeted before me because I'm playing low-key, playing under the radar, not winning anything. I'm just not much of a threat to anyone's game right now, and I'm so well-liked, and people trust and confide in me. I don't foresee myself being in danger anytime soon. It's a chill week for your boy Ryan. Your boy Ryan is safe for another week. No one's coming for me. I'm in a good spot, so I can chill.
The past 2 weeks have been so rough. Like, I needed this. Like, I've been getting kicked, time and time again, just kicked on the ground, spit on. And it's finally, I finally got something that really, this means so much to me. Like, I'm fighting so hard, and all I want is just to do well. I really just want to make all the people who are watching me, who are rooting for me, happy and proud. And I'm going to give it to them. I really am. So right before nominations, had a really good conversation with Brady, and he came up with this harebrained scheme that involved not putting Joe and Jacob up on the block together, and possibly putting another person up on the block, Jonathan in particular, to help and shift loyalties on the other side and really get them kind of battling each other. So I definitely took what he said and thought very hard about it. And considering a lot of the information and the tea that I've been getting, particularly on some people like Jonathan, it definitely is something that's very tempting. Just because I, tell you something and make you feel as if you feel safe doesn't mean you're safe at all. So yeah, does Jonathan have to worry? Absolutely. Welcome to the nomination ceremony. As HOH, it's my responsibility to nominate 2 house guests for eviction. I will pull the first key. That person is safe. They will pull the next key, and so on and so forth. The first person safe is Ryan.
Thank you, Chris. The next person safe is Mandy.
Thank you, Chris. The next person safe is Dustin.
Thank you, Chris. The next person safe is Shelby.
Thank you, Chris. The next person safe is Michael Brady.
Woohoo! Thank you, Chris. The next person safe is Andrew.
Thank you, Chris. The last person safe is John.
So this means I have nominated you, Joe, and you, Jacob. Joe, I really think that a lot has come to light in terms of where you stand in this game, in terms of how your group is perceiving you. And I feel as if, based on our conversation, that you have really been kind of put out to the wolves and really been used as a scapegoat. I don't know whether or not, I can't say because we don't have a strong enough relationship. I can't say whether, everything that you're telling me is gospel. But if it is, then I really feel bad for you and wish you luck this week. Jacob, I have nominated you because we have no relationship at all. I think that at the beginning of this game, we had good communication, but as the game has progressed, that communication has definitely gone down, and one can definitely take a stab as to why that is. I don't know exactly why it is, but I know what I've been told, and if what I've been told is true, then I have no choice but to come for you. Gotta get you before you get me. The nomination ceremony is adjourned. The thing about Brady is I know that he's really smart, and he is definitely going to be a strong contender in this game. But the one thing about me is that I'm pretty strong-minded and strong-willed, and not really someone that likes to be told what to do. I've decided to nominate Joe and Jacob. I mean, it's very simple. they're a duo, and they are the glue holding that side together. It's time for them to put up or shut up, and I'm really hoping that I can tear that side down.
I wanted Joe and John up on the block. Obviously, this isn't my ideal situation with Jacob being up there, but I'm going to work with what I got. I'm going to make sure I can get either Joe up or one of the people associated with him so I can keep Jacob in my pocket and I can move forward with someone that I feel like is a game player and will actually benefit me in the long term. I don't want to come off as a douchebag. Okay. And I'm wearing sunglasses indoors, though, with like my f***ing hair that just screams douche.